And we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Transfer Exchange Show, the review. We're down a member today. And a little shout out to our fallen soldier, Jerome. Obviously, I'm not going to pour water on the floor. But yeah, there's a little shout out to our boy, Jerome. And we're going to give a shout out early doors to our boy, Simon. Keep going strong, mate. We're all here for you. Peace and love and all that, mate. Today we have got one hell of a show for you lot. Okay, can we even this up? Yeah, let's make it like that. I feel there we go. We've got transfers galore. We've got rumours. We're going to shut down rumours today. We're going to give you some rumours that aren't rumours, because we don't just do rumours, we do facts. Because we've got the best scouts around, digging deep, speaking to experts, speaking to journalists, speaking to people on the ground, even speaking to professional football players. Yes, we are. The Transfer Exchange, we do not leave any stone unturned. First of all, tonight, we're going to be talking about Barcelona. They need to raise funds to buy players. They were meant to buy Martinez of Inter Milan and Neymar this season to strike up the best strike force in Europe, but they can't do that because they've got no money. They just made a transfer for Pjanic from Juventus, but it was essentially a swap deal with Arthur. We're looking to see who they're selling and who's buying. Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Who are Barcelona buying? Who are they after? Who are they selling?
Well, they've got problems, haven't they?
They have.
Like you just said, they've got no money. They've got Coutinho, they're just trying to get rid of, and they can't. They're trying to get rid of Ndombele, and they can't. And they paid 100 million for, so straight away they win £2 million for them, for two players that have basically failed. Just completely wasted there. Inter Milan have confirmed Barcelona can take Lautaro Martinez, but that's another 100 million.
Yeah, 110 in fact.
I can't see that happening either. So it's why Barcelona is, trying to get this Coutinho you over the line with Bayern. We spoke about last week, and we were saying well, there comes now all of a sudden there seems to be a change of thing, because with Liverpool, they didn't want to do it, but now all of a sudden they want to do it because they realise how much problems that they're in.
Yeah.
So the release clause for Martinez ends in June, but would you think, well, okay, then they can talk, and then they might be able to, have a chat to get something better. And so hanging it out might not be a bad thing. But the Inter sporting director, Pierre-Emile, has said that we have no intentions of selling him for under 97 million.
Yeah.
So there you go again. One player that they are in touch with, and the agent has said that they're in touch with, is Thiago Alcantara of Leicester. We've seen today.
Yeah.
And another thing that's connected this is, do you remember last week again? It's connected with the fact that
Tyrone Mings
told us that they was going to get a centre half.
Yeah.
Tyrone Mings.
Yeah.
There's been rumours to go to Leicester. So there's a very good connection there.
Yeah, this is how transfers work, people. It's a bit like when you sell your house, you've got the chain, the property chain. Once one person buys something, it's just a domino effect, just keeps ticking through. You've seen a couple of transfers happen recently, even when it has no connection with your club, the butterfly effect. It sends a ripple through the transfer market. People feel like they need to start getting moving because someone else is doing it, or that person's moved, which means that person can move. It's how it works. And from now, you'll start to see a lot of transfers going through. Simon, Steve touched upon a couple of players there that might be coming out of Barcelona. Are some Ndombele is one of them who's potentially going to or they spoke about going to Liverpool. How much of a loss do you think Barcelona are willing to take on a, was it 120 million, wasn't it? What,
something like that, yeah.
And what they saying they're willing to sell him for?
Well, it's gone down to, it started off as 90 million, and then it went to 2 seasons on loan. Then it's gone from 2 seasons on loan to just 37 million. That's a massive loss, but that's how bad they are in dire need for money.
And it's generally got to be something to do with the wages as well. That it's the wages they need to get off their wage bill.
Yeah, it's crazy. You've got what's his name that went from Ajax?
Oh, De Jong.
Yeah, you've got him that's on 350 a week. You've got Messi's wages that's just unbelievable. You've got Luis Suarez that's on 400 a week. You've got Ousmane Dembele is on 270 a week. Dembele 270 a week.
Yeah.
It's mental. They need to get a lot off the wage bill, and they need to basically bring up as much money as they can.
They've
been rebuilding.
They've got 8 players out on loan as well that they're trying to get rid of.
All of them as well. Are they trying to get rid of them players on loan as well?
Yeah. So with what I said and with what Simon said, and with the fact that they've got 7-8 players out on loan that they're trying to get rid of, they're in serious trouble.
Yeah. If they all come back, let's say all them 8 players come back, and bare minimum they're on 50 grand a week. You're still talking about 400 grand a week. Oh,
yep.
Yeah.
Like that's nuts. And you can't, and that's the problem with Barcelona. I spoke about this a while ago, and I was attacked by the comment section when I stated that Barcelona need to sell before they buy. I was told in no fewer words, in the nicest way possible, you know nothing, you clown. And lo and behold, Barcelona cannot buy any of the marquee signings that they wanted because they need to sell. The Coutinho one's been going around for ages. Barcelona and Coutinho's agent have been trying to push him out to clubs. Most recently, we was going to speak about it later on, but we might as well bring it up now. Coutinho's been offered to Everton. That was one that most recently just happened. And they said they're willing to pay 30% of Coutinho's wage on that one. Which is crazy. Has anyone heard anything about Everton potentially going through with that deal?
Only faking the nose on Twitter. That's all I've heard.
Yeah.
It don't sound right. I mean, Coutinho, a Liverpool player, going to Everton, don't sound right anyway. For a start, and I mean, I'm pretty sure that Barcelona will crash out a deal with Bayern Munich, so he goes there. Everton and Coutinho don't fit for me, and there don't seem to be any sort of stonewall sort of rumour about there or anything being said.
On the contrary, boys, it's 100% real. Everton have been offered Philippe Coutinho 30% of his wages to be paid by Barcelona, because as you were saying before, they've made a U-turn on that. Because apparently Liverpool offered Coutinho, but the percentage that Barcelona were going to pay to Liverpool for Coutinho was not enough for Liverpool to be even interested in. Probably about 10%. They've gone to Everton as a sort of what you're saying, and it's just waiting to see what Everton come back with. Would they be able to afford it with the FFP? The fact that they're probably not going to be in Europe. Also, there's a few. They could get a couple of players off the books to make it work. The 30% will make a difference in that as well, and that's the thing they're probably going to have to look into. It's actually happened. They've actually been offered.
What I did see, Kieran, was that which was a bigger rumour for me to go to Everton, was Thiago Silva going to Everton from PSG.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
and that would be him teaming up with Carlos Ancelotti again.
That makes sense.
Because he actually took him from there to PSG. You know, when he was there. So that was the one I was more concentrating on.
Yeah, that's the thing. Carlo Ancelotti will have a lot of connections. We will come back to that one when we talk about the free transfers. All the free transfers, the best transfers, we're going to be going through them and telling you who's the biggest link, what's actually got legs, and who's going where. So Barcelona, they need to sell. Philippe Coutinho potentially going to Everton. Barcelona have offered Everton to pay 30% of his wages to make that happen. They're desperate to get him off the books, and looks like nobody wants him. Poor old Philippe Coutinho, but that will rub some salt in the wounds at Liverpool. I'll tell you that for nothing.
I don't think he would. I think they'd mock him, to be honest.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't be mocking him when he's smashing it because Philippe Coutinho is still a player. Like, I just feel like Philippe Coutinho for me just seems like the kind of player that needs an arm around him. Barcelona and Bayern Munich, you're not getting that. Like, you are not getting that there. They need to be ready, hitting the ground running, them sorts of players, and he can't be that player at them clubs because they don't pander to anyone. If you can't hack it, see you later, you sit on the bench. So, and it kind of rings true because he made that move to Inter Milan before, didn't quite work out, went to Espanyol, was the big man again. Went to Liverpool when Liverpool were a bit lower, was the main man there. Boom, smashes it again. So it remains to be seen. But I think if he moves to a club where there's no pressure on him and he could just enjoy his football, I think that's when you'll see the best of Philippe Coutinho. Next up, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg from Southampton. Recently been stripped of his captaincy. It looks like he's going to be on his way. He's only got a year left on his contract, and Tottenham have come around sniffing. I just wanted to ask you guys, how good is he? Is he worth all the hype? It was a lot of hype for him when he first came here from Bayern Munich. Why was he stripped of his captaincy as well? Simon, do you know any much about him?
I don't know much about him. I don't know why he's been stripped from his captaincy or all like that. I'm sure I saw something with like attitude, basically. No, attitude. That's a different one. I think it was refusing to sign a new contract.
Okay.
So because he's refusing to sign a new contract, they've took the captain's armband away from him, or something like that, I'm guessing.
Go on, Steve, what was it?
No, just there was a bit of confusion, Simon. There was a bit of confusion. So, but the reason why he was stripped of his captaincy was because he was he gave a little thing in a German newspaper saying that he wanted to go on to higher things and he couldn't do that with Southampton, so they stripped him of the captaincy, which I thought was out of order.
Yeah, because I think he said he wanted he had dreams of playing in the Champions League and winning titles, and he said he won't be able to do that at Southampton. I think that's what it was. Which rightly so. If you're the captain, them things you got to keep to yourself. You don't put it out to the media. Putting it out to the media is a come and get me plea because you know that's going to get out. I mean, if you was a journalist, you'd be hard pressed to hear that from a player when you're doing an interview and not put that out there. How good is he? Is he? You said he was out of order. What would be the right thing to do there, Steve? What would you have done as a player?
The reason why I said he was out of order because I read the piece in that he had with the German thing, and I read it, and he did say that he wanted to go on to bigger, better things, and but he was also bigging up Southampton at the same time, and he didn't want to leave there for a couple of years. But after that, it was one of that type of interview, and that's what I thought. Well, bit harsh, if you read it, but he had so much promise when he first started his career.
Pep
I mean, he
Guardiola
came
brought
from
him
Bayern
through.
Munich.
Yeah, Pep brought him
Sorry?
through at Bayern Munich. Pep brought him through at Bayern Munich.
Exactly right. I think he had 44 appearances for him, 12 goals he scored, 7 assists, and then he just went pretty downhill from there. He was put out on loan to Augsburg, then to Schalke, and then signed for Southampton 2016. But the list of honours of this guy is pretty wow. I mean, he's won 2 Bundesligas, a Champions League, 2 German Cups, a UEFA Super Cup, and a FIFA World Cup. And he's still only 24.
It's not bad for a 24-year-old. And the thing is, he's got fire in his belly. He's been at Bayern Munich, the best club that Germany's ever had, and won things. He's not just sat in the youth ranks and whatnot. He's, like you said, he was brought through by Pep Guardiola. He'd won things. He'd won championships. He'd been in Champions League, and it will be a bit of a grounding when you go to Southampton and you're completely playing in a different mindset. You're not going to win leagues. Your first thought is we've got to survive, and that's a different mindset. You're surrounded by people with different mindsets on that as well. So you're going to struggle. But
he's been linked with Tottenham. He's been linked with Leicester. He's been linked with Everton. But everyone seems to be linked with Everton lately. But they're just fleeting links and nothing sort of. Tottenham seems to be the most.
Tottenham's the strongest one.
Strongest one at the moment. Yeah.
It's Tottenham's the strongest one. It's the one that has got the most legs. I know that Tottenham actually inquired about him. In fact, I think Tottenham put a bid, but the bid was very low. I think they're trying to play on the fact that there's a bit of unrest there, and Tottenham haven't got much of a budget to spend. They haven't. So that remains to be seen what happens with Højbjerg. He's a good player, but whether he's of a level to be playing in a championship team in this country, I don't think so. But there's plenty of other countries where he could probably apply his trade and be at one of the better teams in their leagues. So we'll keep an eye on it because, as we said, the Tottenham link is very strong. They put in a bid, but Southampton weren't happy with it. But it remains to be seen what happens with Højbjerg. Next up, Free Transfer FC. The list of free transfers is actually ridiculous. It goes from Edison Cavani to Chiellini to Mario Götze. You've got World Cup winners in there. Zlatan Ibrahimovic in there. Thiago Silva, David Silva, Adam Lallana. The list is actually ridiculous. You could make a team out of it that could win a league somewhere. Maybe the Kazakhstan Premier League, but
10 years ago,
it could win it. It would win it. It would do decent, and I'd go and watch that team.
You find a goalkeeper though. I couldn't find a goalkeeper.
Joe Hart is on that list.
Oh yeah, Joe Hart. Yeah.
Told head and shoulders himself.
There we go. So. Where are these players going though? Simon, give me some names. Give me some transfer links. Where are some of these the best of these 3 players going? Tell me. Tell the viewers.
Well, the research that I've done, basically, what you asked me to, I won't take any of them to be honest, but you know.
This is not about who you would have in your team, Simon.
No, it's like where they're going. Like Zlatan has been offered. Well, it was at AC Milan, weren't he? He went back there and then...
They're not going to keep him. They've just got...
they're not going to keep him.
They've got a new director of football coming in.
I know Newcastle have inquired about him.
Have they extended it, Simon? Did they extend his contract in June?
You what?
Till the end of the season.
the end of the season, yeah.
Did they extend Zlatan's contract to the end of the season?
Yeah. I think they did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give him a proper send off.
Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Newcastle have been in touch with Zlatan over a 2-year loan. But the problem with Newcastle at the minute is, it's ironic this, because they've not been fully taken over yet. But it's not the money; it's the wages. Because Zlatan is demanding 400 a week. Sorry, he's demanding 400 a week. But Newcastle's, the Saudis, when they've taken over, they've said that money and wages ain't going to be a problem. If they want a player, they will go out and try and get that player. Like, literally break backs to get that player.
Yeah, but okay, I get that. And to be fair, if there's, it's a tough one, yeah. But Zlatan, you've seen his professionalism. He is still able to do it at a level, yeah. Whether that's consistently over 30 to 40 games, that's the issue. And if you're paying someone 400 grand a week,
that's what I mean.
That's a problem. It could get a bit messy there, and I don't know if I want to be tying down anyone on a 2-year deal for 400 grand a week, because it only takes a dodgy knee, which he was out with. Wasn't he out with an ACL? I know he came back strong because he's an animal, but he was out with a bad injury at his age. You have one of them in your second week, and you're gone for the season. That's 400 grand a week that you're going to have to pay that geezer for the next 2 years. That's mad.
How old is he now? What is he? 38, 37?
I don't know. He's old, man. He's not young.
40,
I think he's 30. I think he's 36.
Right, I will check now. Zlatan is 38, and he will be 39.
Whoa.
He'll be 39 on October the 3rd. Like, you can't sign a 39-year-old.
You can't, not for 400 a week. You can't.
I wouldn't sign Superman up for 400 grand a week for a 2-year deal, mate. Like, you never know. Someone might slip some kryptonite into his locker, and it's it, gone. It's done. Like,
I think you've got to come to the conclusion there that ends his lot.
Yeah. Hey, boom, boom. All right, Steve, what you got for me? Give me some names. Hit me up with some names and where they're going.
Right. There's some good players, isn't there?
There's some good players out there, man. There's some good players.
There is some good players. There's some wrong ones as well, like Simon said. So I won't give you for that. But Ryan Fraser was a strong one now because he's been having talks with Celtic.
Oh, he wanted Tottenham, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was trying to flirt with Tottenham, and they weren't having it.
They've offered him 40 grand a week, but he wants 100 grand a week, so I don't think that's going to be happening.
Bit of a difference.
Cavani, who would be a good free transfer, for me. Inter Milan, looking at him, he could go back to Napoli. There's rumours there, and Roma are entering the race.
Also, can I add one onto that? He's team in Uruguay.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, because it's managed by Diego Forlan, old teammate, and also one of his best friends, Christian Rodriguez, is playing back over there. Right. And apparently they're trying to get Luis Suarez back there next season once his contract's done, because they want to build a team that can win the Copa Libertadores.
So our old friend Lavin Kazawa, he looks like he's staying at PSG.
4-year deal, did I hear?
It's right, yeah. Looks like he's
4-year deal.
4-year deal. Adam Allan has been given the elbow, so Jurgen Klopp don't love him anymore. So
well, is the Leicester link still strong on that?
I haven't seen no Leicester link. I haven't seen nothing for Adam Allan. I thought I'd find something, but I couldn't find anything. I mean, all I know is that Curtis is going to be replacing him on the 24.
That's good.
For next season. He's coming off. Curtis is coming on.
That's good because
Pedro's joining Roma.
Yep. I've seen that. Is it two-year deal? 2-year deal, wasn't it? And that,
yep.
Yeah, that was the one that me and Jerome spoke about last week. There was a cause. There's a little bit of unrest between the sporting director and the chairman, I think it was. But it's all been sorted now.
And then there's Thiago Silva, who we was just talking about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, Everton.
Who's Everton? It looks a strong Everton, and the reuniting with Carlos Ancelotti makes a lot of sense, and he would be the perfect partner for Yerry Mina or Michael Keane. Slotting in there. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of players that I don't think our viewers out there might not heard of. Jose Callejon, Giacomo Bonaventura. I'm sure I've been on their holiday.
Is it Callahan? Is he linked with anyone?
From Napoli. Yeah, he's linked with. He's in negotiations at the moment with Real Betis.
Okay. They want Danny Ceballos as well.
There seems to be a swap deal going on there.
And they've got Nabil Fekir in their team, haven't they? So they're starting to build a nice little team, Betis.
Mm-hmm. They've been offered Cedric Under. They want to do a swap deal.
Simon, did you have any other freebies that have been linked to teams?
I'm trying to think of one that was in midfield. Have you got the list in front of you?
Yeah, I've got. So on my list, we've had Edison Cavani, Chiellini. Any links?
Chiellini, that was the one. Juventus were going to offer him another contract, but then apparently with De Ligt, because he's not settled in as much as they're not really happy with De Ligt at the minute, Juventus. I don't know why, but he's also been at loggerheads with Cristiano Ronaldo a few times as well. I don't know. I've not gone right into it, but yeah. Inter Milan offered him a loan deal, but he basically told them in his language, an FU, he's not interested. He's not joining any other Italian team apart from Juventus. That's like the dedication that he's got to that club. There was another one. What do you call them now? Spanish team. Villarreal.
Yeah.
Villarreal were gonna pay for him. They wanted to actually buy him and send him to La Liga, and he's flat out turned that down as well. So I think he still thinks that he can still do it. He still thinks he can do it on the grander stage.
But I mean, I'm guessing Sarri doesn't fancy him. Mario Götze, for me, that's AC Milan all the way. Unless, in fact, I'd still say AC Milan because they've got a new director of football. I'm not saying because he's German, but he's German, so the link was probably there from before. It's probably a part of the list of people that he wants in. Joe Hart has been linked to Arsenal and Celtic. If Celtic don't get Fraser Forster on another season-long loan, they're gonna apparently go for Joe Hart, and Arsenal is an option as backup for Bernd Leno. As we said, Almanana, no real link, which is a shame. There's a player in there somewhere in and around outside the top six. I think you'll get a good player in Almanana. David Silva, was there a link for him to go back to Valencia?
He's going back to Valencia.
Is he going back to Valencia?
Yep.
Thiago Silva, you said Everton is a strong link. Willian seems to have died down, but Willian, I saw him playing today, and I tell you what, he's still a very, very good player, William.
Did you see the
Chelsea's definitely getting rid of him.
They're getting rid of him.
Did anyone see that Arsenal offered him a contract of 250 a week before the pandemic?
And what have they taken it back? Because
it's off the table.
I'm not surprised. But
that was the Athletic.
Vertonghen signed, didn't he? Vertonghen signed.
For Roma.
Jan Vertonghen. He signed until June. But it looked like very strong links that he's going off to Roma.
Yes. So, I don't know. Do you want to speak about that one? Because I've got some details on that one.
No, all I know is I've been told that he's by a Tottenham fan, as you probably know. We've got quite a few Tottenham fans that are in the know. He told me that he was on his way to Roma.
Yeah, so Jan Vertonghen is has got been offered a 2-year contract with an offer for a 3rd year at Roma, and I mean for a 33-year-old, if you're offered what essentially is a 3-year deal, you're biting their hand off. So Jan Vertonghen is 100% on his way to Roma. It's a good signing for them, I think. Malang Sarr, centre back from Nice. Any links there?
I can't find any links there at all.
Quite surprising, isn't it? It's quite surprising. I'm wondering what is the problem with this guy. Why has he been released from Nice? Why has no one gone for him? Tanguy, there is Tanguy Kusasi of PSG. He's on his way to Bayern Munich. It looks like the youngster. Jeff Hendrick has had an offer from AC Milan and Roma. So you could be seeing the very busy Burnley central midfielder Jeff Hendricks playing in Serie A next season. That looks like the likely destination. It looks like
Mario Götze. I couldn't find nothing. Mario Götze. No one wants it.
Mario Götze are very weak links. Very, very, very weak links. But well done, boys. I've managed to get through the whole list there, and I think there's only about 2 or 3 players there's no links to. So well done. Top research. Loved that. Next up, Liverpool just won the league. And like any great champions, they won't just sit there and rest on their laurels. They have to go out and buy. But who are they after? Who are Liverpool going to buy, if anyone? Recently, they were linked with Jadon Sancho, where...
I have some news on that.
Jurgen Klopp turned around and said, he would look good, in a... he would look good, ha, 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 ha. Yes, he would.
That's going to give me nightmares.
Simple flirting from Jurgen Klopp is not going to turn Jadon Sancho's head away from Manchester and going home. But tell me, boys, who are Liverpool after? Go on, Simon. Hit me up first. What you got?
Jadon Sancho.
How strong is that, though? Or is that just Jurgen Klopp?
60%. 60%.
Yeah?
Man United at the minute is like near enough 100%. But he wants to go to a team that will be in the Champions League. So Man United have to get Champions League football. If they do not, then Jadon Sancho could go to Liverpool. Because Liverpool are looking, and this is what I've been told. Nobody else knows this. This is between me and this person. Liverpool are looking to offload Bobby Firmino.
What?
They're looking to offload Bobby Firmino.
Where's my exclusive button? I need an alarm.
That doesn't actually surprise me. Actually, it doesn't actually surprise me.
What do you think? What do you think? You think they're trying to get rid of at his highest point now? You feel like they could be on a little bit of a decline. The lack of goals this season wasn't just a one-off. Are you feeling that they feel like they get?
To me, what I've been told, it's Jurgen Klopp. And this has all been done when he signed his new deal with Liverpool. This weren't just basically dominating England. This were basically, right, we've done what we've done. I'm going to sign the new contract with Liverpool and still be their manager because he don't want to go and his back team don't want to go either. So they're here. He's going to build another squad. He's going to build another squad to basically dominate English football for the next whatever. It could be in the next 10 years. They're trying to get Van Dijk on a new contract, but at the minute they are struggling to offer him 200 a week. But this is all because of with Jadon Sancho. He's very close to Liverpool. Man United fans might think it's done and might think it's done, dusted. His agent says he wants to come to Man United. No. Weeks and weeks and weeks ago, I was told that every club wanted Jadon, and he was happy to go to any other club apart from Borussia Dortmund. He wants to take the next step. He feels like from going from City, he's gone to Borussia Dortmund and proved himself and put himself on that stage. Now he wants to take himself off that stage and put himself as the main person in a team. That's what he wants to do. And Man United, there is still a good chance he could sign for United, but don't rule out Manchester City or Liverpool.
Yeah, well said, Simon. As we said, how many weeks ago, when we spoke about the Man United has 70 million, we believe that they really want to go all out for Jadon Sancho, but they have to sell players first.
About 2 months.
We said that ages ago. We were told differently, but we still stuck with that because we heard it from reliable people that have done a lot of research into it and found out these things. 10 weeks down the line, it has come out yesterday that Man United need to sell players to get the rest of the money for Jadon Sancho. So that is true, and that has kind of put a little bit of a stopgap on Man United. Has probably made other clubs think, actually, maybe Man United aren't the only club in the run. Let's see what Jadon Sancho's saying. And they're probably now, Jadon Sancho's phone's probably ringing now. And since that's come out that Man United need to raise money to get Jadon Sancho, it's probably come out, Jadon Sancho's agent's phone is probably ringing off the hook right now. Because there's be clubs out there that want a bit of Jadon Sancho. Steve, who have you looked into that Liverpool might be after to continue their reign?
Yeah. Well, I think Simon's 100% spot on right. I mean, Liverpool do have to add, they do have to change because they won't be dominating nothing for the next 2 years, let alone the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm seeing with Liverpool at the moment is that they haven't got the money. They've gone and tried to do again. They tried to do this loan deal with Ndombele because they wanted to buy, but Liverpool wanted the loan. They were pushing for a loan with Ndombele, right? So that should like ring bells, like warning bells straight away for Liverpool fans. You know why are they doing that? So Koulibaly come up. They wanted 90 million for him. So obviously that they couldn't afford that. And then there was the prices of Werner, Ndombele scared them off. Also, Jimenez price tag scared them off. And then, which was the big talk over the last week, was Thiago Alcantara. He told his teammates he was actually leaving for Liverpool, which is, I mean, I don't know about that. But
I know I've been told about that as well, and that's 100% rubbish.
That sounds a bit. That sounds a load of old crap.
It's 100% rubbish. The person that I've been speaking to, I asked him about Thiago at Bayern, and he's discussing a new deal with Bayern Munich at the minute, and his agent is taunting him around and trying to make Bayern basically give him a bit more wages, just a little bit more wages. But that is 100% rubbish. He loves Anfield. He's come out before and said he loves Anfield. He loves playing at Anfield. But he's got no intention of leaving Bayern Munich because you can see Bayern Munich are doing something special.
Go on, Steve, carry on. Well,
Liverpool said that they obviously were interested in Alcantara. I mean, he's a good player. I mean, who wouldn't be?
Yeah.
Bayern Munich have whacked on a price tag of 72 million on him.
Well, then they can't afford it, then, can they?
So again, it's another one. It just goes back to the Werner, the Ndombele, the Jimenez's. It keeps wiping Liverpool off, and something that sort of again rang a sort of bell. Marco Guric, who's on loan at Hertha Berlin at the moment, who's absolutely pulling up trees over there. He's absolutely buzzing, and Hertha Berlin want to keep him. Yeah, they want to make a deal so they can keep Guric, but there's this fight now going on where Klopp's saying, oh, "You've got to come back. I want you back. I want you back." They're desperate to get this guy back, you know. And it's like it seems that their money's run out, and they just want to get him back from a loan, or so they can put him to the side because he is playing well. He's pulling up trees over there. It all stems to lack of cash. Everything seems to lack of cash in Liverpool at the minute.
But I mean, if we go back to what Simon said, and he said, which for me is an exclusive. I'm sorry, it's an exclusive. Liverpool are looking to get rid of Bobby Firmino. it makes sense where they've been linked to Timo Werner, then they couldn't afford him. Because you're thinking to yourself, why are they going for Timo Werner? They've got the best attacking in Europe. And then they're linked to Ndombele. Again, you're thinking, where's again, why are they going? But it kind of rings true if you are looking to get rid of Bobby Firmino. And that to me says you're looking to get rid of Bobby Firmino because you want to raise funds, because you feel Bobby Firmino of the three is the most expendable and the one you'll still be able to get a lot of money for. But if you listen to Jurgen Klopp's quotes on the Jadon Sancho thing, he says he'd look good in a red shirt, but not this season because they can't afford him. And they know that. They know that. The pandemic's hit them hard because before the pandemic, there was talk of killing Mbappe. There was talk of Werner. But the pandemic has hit Liverpool very hard and they can't buy anyone unless it's on some sort of structured deal, loan or free. So
you've got to think they're self-sufficient though as well. They haven't got a sugar daddy owner that can just go in and say, what do you want? Right, do that, do that, do that. So this is why Jurgen Klopp, and this is why this person, as well, has told me that they're looking not just to get rid of Firmino because they love him, but they're willing to sacrifice Firmino and bring in an actual out-and-out striker. And then you've got Mane and Salah on the wings. That's what they're looking for something to do. So Jadon Sancho fits the bill, and Salah. What else he told me? Salah would be moved from the wing to the striker, and Jadon would be moved to the right side.
I mean, the team would be ridiculous. It would be a mad team, and again, as you said, like it's thrown me because I've not heard anything about Bobby Firmino leaving for Liverpool, and the names that they keep coming up with are names that are not going to sit on the bench. So you have to ask yourself, why are Liverpool going after Jadon Sancho? Why were they after Werner? Why were they after Ndombele? It's because one of the front three are going. You heard it here first, people. It came from Simon Powell, the chef, and this week he ain't stirring nothing but good old transfer news. Well done, Simon. Okay, we're going to move on from there, and this is the one that I know Steve himself has been waiting for all week. It's the Golden Boy Awards Top 100. We're going to go through all of these players, and find out if there's any transfer news, how they're getting on their career, what they had for breakfast this morning, whether they're getting moving on into the first team. We're going to find out about every single one of them, just for you. And we're going to start with Steve, because I know he's ready to burst on this. Steve, no one else has heard your list except for me, because I chose the list. I didn't let anyone pick their own players, because I know this mob would be they'd be hand-picking players that they want playing for their teams, that they've already done research about. No, that'd be too easy. Not on my watch. What you got for me, Steve?
Right. Well, I'll try and go through these as quick as I can, and hopefully you'll get a lot of good information from them, and so you can enjoy our feature over the next 3 weeks. So, yeah.
Sorry, Steve, 1 second. Before we go, please, if you haven't seen Steve's video about Ozan Kabak, go and check it out on his Twitter. We're going to upload it on YouTube after this as well. Or we'll upload it tomorrow. Ozan Kabak, and I've done one on Rodrigo. Steve's one's excellent, and it gives a breakdown of what the player's about and a little video with it as well. And Steve has done it superbly. And there's many more of them to come. It's not just one. Go on, Steve, carry on.
Right, the first player that I've been given by Kieran was Sergio Desavayex. He's a 19-year-old Dutch left-back. He's like a Dutch-American. He's got a Dutch mother and an American father. So I guess he will never run out of cheese for his hamburgers when the barbecues are on. He's a regular in the USA national side, which was a difficult choice, as Holland was the place of his birth. But when he was struggling with his career in his early age, the Dutch side wasn't going to be a professional. They told him it wasn't going to be big up. They told he had problems with his growing, and it wasn't helping him at all. But then came along the USMT, and they stuck by him. And oh my God, did they prove them right by sticking by him? He plays football like in the street. He's got Michael Riziger and Winston Bogard, but it was sort of bringing him through at the moment. Very, very, very famous Dutch internationals. He's very good at attacking. He reminds me a lot of Ashley Cole now, like where he's very good at attacking, but he needs a little bit of work on his defending. But Bogard and Rice, they're going to help him out with that. There's a bit of talk of him going to Bayern Munich. Alfonso Davies, who I think a lot of us know, has said that he's quicker, more technical than Benjamin Pavard, which I don't know. They're probably going to have a fight after it. I've been saying that.
He said that about his teammate.
He actually said that, and he also said he don't think he would replace Pavard, but Des would fancy his chances very soon. So very highly thought of. Then there's a Man City player called Eric Garcia, 19-year-old centre back. He can play right back from Spain. He came out of the Barcelona academy, the Marseille. Well, the list of players that have come out of there, you can imagine from Barcelona is endless. He joined City in 2017. He's still recovering from that nasty injury against Arsenal when Edison took him out. He just don't make mistakes. He doesn't make a mistake. I've never seen him make a mistake. He's always totally focused. He's good when he's up against fast forwards. He's a perfect partner for Laporte. Transfer links, there ain't none. He ain't going nowhere.
No, it's not. No.
Pep ain't going to let him go anywhere. Yeah. So forget that one.
He loves him, doesn't he? And he said he's a very, very intelligent player, didn't he?
Yes, right. He did. And then just across the road at United, there's another 19-year-old called James Garner. Very good in escape to victory as well. A few other.
No one who's watching this knows about escape to victory.
You never clue what I was talking about.
Except for Melvin. Melvin, I know you're there, and I know you're watching.
His first two appearances, Gardner's, were against Real Madrid and Barcelona. So that's thanks to your grandchildren, isn't it? He's confident. His first game for Man United, he scored in the Europa League team against Partizan Belgrade. It's James this season is going out on loan. He's going out, talks towards Sunderland and Sheffield Wednesday. Solskjaer loves him. Solskjaer loves this kid, and his words were, "This kid could be the next Michael Carrick." So you can't get any more, bigger praise than that. You've got another one.
Steve, could I just say there's also a link with him to AZ Alkmaar as well.
Right. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That one. Yeah. Then we got Sebastian Espetino. Cool. What a name that is. I'd love that name, wouldn't you? Sebastiano Espetito.
I need to spell it.
He's only 17, but he's centre forward. And he's just literally on the verge of signing for Milan on a long-term deal. Okay. PSG wanted him. Liverpool wanted him. This kid is something special.
Yeah.
Write it down. Sebastiano Espetito. Go and watch him. At 16, the whole of Italy just set up and took notice when he became the youngest player to play for the Inter. And, in their illustrious history, that's something pretty special. Yeah. The Tag Wonder Kid, which is what we're doing, is an understatement. 17 goals in 16 games, and 4 goals in the under-17s championships. His father just missed his very first game for Inter Milan. and he was said to be in tears. But this kid, Expedito, please write him down and please go and have a look at him. He's special.
Steve, I've not seen much. I've not seen him at all. Yeah. So how about the next video you do it on this kid here? You sold it to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good man. Good man.
It's like this is your life.
Well, you're next, Simon. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, 4 writings on a line. That's it. I need some help though with pronouncing these names because I'm not even going to bother.
Go on, Simon.
The first one I've got is the guy that's from Rennes.
Oh, Eduardo Camavinga.
That's the one. I've got basically with the information on transfer, because I've only written everything down what's related to transfer, basically. So I've got written down from transfer that his agent has been to Real Madrid's training centre and their training pitch to basically talk to Real Madrid about the player. Manchester United have inquired about the guy on 5 occasions over the last 2 years and wanted him as a replacement for Paul Pogba. He's still on Man United's radar, not for this summer, but possibly in the future. And it still is for Paul Pogba replacement because he's still not signed a new deal.
Yeah.
So until he signs that new deal, these are going to keep going on and on and on. Chelsea have been in touch with him, and Roman Abramovich himself has been and met the player and agent.
All right.
Yeah, Roman is because he's not allowed in the country, is he? But he's allowed in certain areas to do meetings, basically. So there were that one, and then there were Bayern Munich. They were also interested, but then they moved on to what's his name in midfield? Is it something Hernandez? Is it Hernandez?
I'm not sure.
They moved on to another midfielder, so they left him basically, and they could have had him, but they've moved away from the deal. The Rennes basically have tried to offer him a new deal, and he's stalled on 2 occasions. His agents basically he seems like a down to earth kid as well. He's not bothered about how much money or anything like that. He wants first team football to progress basically into the future. And if he makes a move to the big clubs in the world, he wants reassurances that he is going to be a starting 11 and that he's going to get the right opportunity to prove himself. I think
that's the most important thing for Camavinga. This is a player who's been playing from the age of 16 in the central midfield in France's top league. He's well regarded worldwide. This is why everyone wants him. He's classed as a DM, but he's more than that. His passing range is ridiculous. He'd tackle anyone. He'd challenge anyone. He doesn't care. I think the most important thing for him is staying at Rennes, making sure that his development continues in the club that he's already getting game time with. Continue as he grows as a person. He needs to be in his home. He doesn't need to be elsewhere right now. And and I think as I've been following his footsteps, so has Steve, so has everyone who's in our team. Yeah. And it looks like he's going to be staying at Rennes for the next season at least. Real Madrid are still going to try pushing for him because he's top of.
Madrid are desperate for him. Madrid are desperate for him.
He's top of Zidane's list. He's top of Zidane. They've apparently Zidane wants him so much. He's putting together a team of people just to get him. He's putting together a team of contacts that know Camavinga. He's pulling out contacts there.
Yeah, I've got that written there.
To try and get this kid. It's nuts. They're that desperate to get him. But I just don't think he needs the pressure of Real Madrid right now. Sorry, Simon, I took over on that one. Carry on. Next one, or what you got, mate? Go on.
The second one I've got. I've only gone into real depths on 2 of them because I'm excited by the first one that we've just said, and then this one really excites me. I can't pronounce this whatsoever. It's from Lyon. The one that you gave me that's from Lyon, Olympic Lyon.
Ryan, Rian,
That's the one.
Cherokee. Rian
Yeah.
Cherokee.
That's the one. This one's definitely going places.
Yeah.
Definitely. I don't mean just Real Madrid, Barcelona. I mean, this guy could walk into the Premier League and just take it like duck to water. He's been recommended higher than Hosim, what's his name? Hosim Mayor. I'm going to learn my pronunciations.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Si. I'm all for it, mate. I'm all for it. I'll help you.
Oh, where's Rosetta Stone when you need it? Yeah, so he's higher on the list of what people are wanting right now than the guy I've just mentioned. Juventus are really interested in him.
Juventus want everyone. Juventus, leave these players alone. You go for everyone. Juventus are linked with everyone. This player is special. Like, he's a box of tricks, technically gifted. He's got vision. He's one of them players that just is cheeky. He's like, I don't want to say he's like Messi because the name when you put Messi next to him, these names but he plays with the freedom of Messi. He plays with that sort of freedom. It's like he doesn't care who he's playing against. He's going to do what he wants to do because he wants to show himself off. He's a class above, and he's only 16. Carry on, sir.
The president from Lyon as well has said that he's going to follow in the footsteps of Kylian Mbappe and be bigger than Kylian Mbappe when he turns the age of 21. That's a big claim.
But this is what I mean. This is how good he is, though.
Figo is a massive. Luis Figo is a massive admirer as well, and Figo basically is trying to not convince him, but give him a little nudge in his ear about Barcelona and all this sort of stuff. There's so many teams that are after him. So many. There's Arsenal on the list. They've been scouting him for 2 years. The guy was one of our scouts there. I forgot to write his name down. That Francis, the one that found Cesc Fabregas.
Oh yeah.
He's been watching him for 2 years and reporting back to Wenger at that point.
Any chance he wants to just tell people to buy rather than just watching these people? I watched this kid for about 5 minutes when I first saw him, and you can tell he's unreal.
Yeah, he is. He's unbelievable. The tricks that he's got and just so much. It literally just it'd blow up the Premier League. Whoever get him, in my opinion, whoever get him, you've just won the league. That's how good he is.
Who else on your list? Oh, sorry, mate. Go on.
16 years old, though. For 16 years old and he's doing all this, it's an unbelievable CV to have.
Yeah, he's a quality player.
And then my last one is the one from who's at PSG from Ajax. PSG signed him from Ajax, and Michael Bakker. Is it Bakker? Baker?
Bakker?
Yeah. 19 years old.
Any links?
Newcastle on loan.
Yeah. Oh, Newcastle won him, yeah?
Yeah, Newcastle on a season-long loan. Chelsea want to sign him. They're impressed with him. They've been watching him from the age of 14.
All right. That's the thing. It sounds ludicrous when you hear people say they've been watching him from the age of whatever. But I mean, I only watched a video on a Dutch youth tournament the other day, which was like the kids were like 13 on there, 14 on there themselves. So, and when you do spot a talent, that's the kind of thing. Okay, I'm watching him. Where's he going? And you watch their development. So it's not unheard of. It's not ludicrous. It's kind of what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing that. We spoke about going to Dutch tournaments, so this is the kind of thing we'll be doing. So if anyone's looking for any scouts out there, give us a bell. You know where we're at.
This ain't just FIFA, playing FIFA and going, he's good, buy him.
We don't do that. Is it my go?
Yep.
All right, okay. So first up on my list is Angel Gomez of Manchester United. Very, very good player. highly regarded at Man United, and it looks like he's on his way out. He hasn't actually signed a new deal. There's Chelsea are after him. There's Newcastle that are after him. There was quite a few clubs that are looking at him. And it looks like Angel Gomez is going to be off come the end of the season. There's no talk about him extending any contract for him to play until Tuesday. So it could potentially be Tuesday when we find out whether Angel Gomez will be a Man United player anymore. I don't think he will be. It looks like he wants to seek passage new to get guaranteed of first team football. Ferran Torres, very highly regarded Spanish winger at Valencia, has actually been lined up as a replacement for Jadon Sancho at
Sancho, yep.
His contract ends next season in 2021. They're saying that Valencia want 80 million, but when his contract ends at the end of next season, you're kind of setting yourself up for the player to leave on a free if you're not going to sell him at a reasonable price this season. So there's two options here. Ferran Torres either signs an extension on his current deal at Valencia, or he gets sold this season, because I can't see him letting him run down his contract till next season. So that's one to watch. Max Aarons has been linked with Tottenham. How realistic is it that Tottenham will be able to get Max Aarons? In this current climate, it's not. Tottenham have limited funds. They need to sell to make funds. Jose Mourinho has been told he can deal with free transfers, swaps, and he had special important players. Mourinho has earmarked Højbjerg as that important player, not necessarily Max Aarons. So the likelihood of Max Aarons going to Tottenham this season is not very high unless Norwich get relegated and they sell him for a very low price. But it doesn't seem that way from where I'm sitting. Adam Holzek. I know Steve done a bit about Adam Holzek a couple of weeks ago. This player is a very good player. There's two clubs that are after him, which is very surprising, because I feel like I need to give a ring round to Arsenal, my team, and have a word, because Adam Holzek is apparently going for 15 million euros. Sparta Prague are asking for, and that is peanuts for the potential that this kid has. If Adam Holzek was already at Dortmund, you'd be talking about a player who'd be going for upwards of 40 million at his age now, because it would be no different in my eyes to a Reina or any of these other young talents that are being shouted out about. This player has, I mean, Steve can tell you his stats, but this player has been playing first team football all season and has got one of the best stats in Europe at 17. It's a joke. Thomas Rosick's screaming to high heavens about him, and he's got a very bright future. And at the moment, RB Leipzig have opened talks with Sparta Prague for services of Adam Holzek, and Borussia Dortmund have also inquired about Holzek. And I'm sorry, but if Borussia Dortmund and RB Leipzig are sniffing around the player, as a club, you should also be sniffing around that player, even if you don't know how good that player is, because these are two clubs that can spot talent. So, and they've spotted one here, and for 15 million, I'd have that all day long. Dominic Soboslai, close. I'm going to take that of RB Salzburg.
Soboslai. Even I can say it now.
They've just won the league in Austria. Well done, Kerem Adeyemi and Dominic.
Yeah.
Well done,
My
boys.
boy.
Well done.
My boy.
Well done.
The Emirates awaits.
We've been shouting your name to the high heavens from the start of this, and we'll be following your journey to the Emirates Stadium one day. Dominic Soboslai is currently in advanced talks with AC Milan. New soon-to-be boss Ralf Rangnick has earmarked the player as one of his first signings. AC Milan apparently got 80 million to spend, and they've put in they're going to put in a bid for the player in the next coming days. Also, in advanced talks with the agent. Remember, this is not the club. The agent is Arsenal. So they're currently, this is what clubs do. They're currently be thrashing out a deal beforehand to make sure that the player and because there's no point in wasting the club's time if the player doesn't want to go or if they can't work out a contract on the same level. So Arsenal and AC Milan are both in talks with this kid, and he's a serious talent. We talk about flair. He glides across the pitch. His range of passing is very good, and he's got 17 assists in like 40 games in all competitions, and about 4 goals, I think it is. He's tearing up trees out there, and that was it. That was my list. So, well done, everyone. We was going to have Jerome's list, but he's not here. He's not here. So we'll be going through this list on a weekly basis, checking out who are the players that are being linked with clubs. And if they're not being linked with clubs, we'll tell you about the progression, because it's not all about moving here, there and everywhere for the transfer exchange. We're also about youth development. And sometimes it's important to stay put. Next up, before we get to our transfer roundup, Ndombele is on his way out of Tottenham. Mourinho has had a word with him, and Ndombele has come out and said he's never going to play for Tottenham again. What did Mourinho say? Does anyone know? Steve,
why would you want to get rid of him?
What
Seriously,
Steve, what did Mourinho say?
No one knows what he said. He's basically said what I think is that he can't. He's never going to play him again in the Tottenham side, and he's not good enough to play in the position where he wants. And in the summer, he's going to be moving on to get someone else. I had to read it again.
What? This is what Mourinho said.
Yeah, this is what I read. This is what I read, and then nothing's come out to say that was not what was said. I mean, this can't be a coincidence, can it? I can't see Pogba, Ronaldo, the Chelsea doctor, the whole of the Chelsea team, Luke Shaw. I just think every now and then he just thinks he needs to let people know he's the boss, and he just picks someone out of an hat and decides to have a go at him, no matter what the consequences may be. I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't had a spank, but maybe he has. But it's Jose Mourinho, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, what more can you say? I mean, in Ndombele, he's took it the wrong way, and he'll probably never be in the shirt again.
Has he taken it the wrong way, or has he seen it for what it is? Simon, has Jose Mourinho got an ulterior motive here when it comes to Ndombele? Is he trying to earn? Does he feel like I've got no transfer funds and this is my biggest asset? I could sell him still. His price is still high. Do you think that's a bit of it?
Well, when they signed him, he weren't manager though, was he? So it's like, he's not one of my players. So when Mourinho goes to a club, if he wants to get rid of a player, he will try his best to get rid of that player. I mean, look at Man United and Martial. He wanted to get rid of him as quick as possible, but Man United's board would not allow it. Now Daniel Levy has got to make his decision. What do I do? Because Ndombele, for me, I don't care what you say, but he's probably one of Tottenham's best midfielders they've got. He's better than our midfielders altogether. And I'd probably put him above same level midfielder as like your names, your Bruno Fernandes, your Paul Pogba. It's unbelievable. But what shocks me more is that is that Tottenham fans are not in outrage by it. Some are accepting it. They're actually going, well, if Mourinho wants to get rid of him, get rid of him.
Yeah, one thing you probably have to take notice on this year is when Barcelona fans are swooning, they are like, "Oh my gosh, Tottenham could potentially sell us this guy." You need to think to yourself, maybe we're not getting the best out of this player. Maybe there is a player in there, because I've got some Barcelona friends and they are very excited at the thought of getting Ndombele in their team. Like they're very excited at it, and maybe he's just not sold at Tottenham. One thing I did hear about him is the the phrase they used, and this has come from players and coaches within the Tottenham camp, is one day he could be a peacock, the next day he's a monster. Read into that what you will.
I mean, I'm going back to what Simon said about, Tottenham fans just not being surprised about it. He's spot on there, because I spoke to someone who's got a very large Tottenham online website, very big one. And I spoke to him about this, and he said something very similar. But the way he put it was that it was like a shrug of the shoulders, and if to say, well, we just expected it when he came to us anyway, that at some point he was going to have ructions about some player. So there it's happened. It's like, what? We knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Record signing, and it's now just get rid of him.
But for me, I personally feel like there's a massive element of that is it's not my signing, and another element of that is that budget that they spent on this guy is my budget, and I want that budget back to spend on players that I'm bringing in. And especially he's been told that he can only bring in free transfers and you've got to do deals, sell before you can buy, then it makes sense to do it rather than just getting the best out of the player. It makes sense within what Jose Mourinho is potentially thinking. So it looks like Ndombele is out, and if Barcelona can raise funds, it looks like he could be on his way to Barcelona. Declan Rice. There was rumours, first of all, when the pandemic hit, that Declan Rice could be off. And West Ham Ball came out and said, £80 million if you want his services. But most recent reports I saw, they slashed that. Surely West Ham haven't changed their stance. If so, is Declan Rice off in the summer? Simon, what do you reckon? Is Declan Rice off in the summer? If so,
I think he'll leave it summer, because I think West Ham, any West Ham fans watching, I apologise, but I think they're getting relegated, West Ham. I think they will get relegated, and I think they'll be like a fire sale. They'll literally be like a fire sale. You've got all their players literally that are decent, that could be worth some money, like your Antonios and all that. But with your Declan Rice, I think he needs to speak to the club and his agent and see if he can lean West Ham in the fee. Because if he doesn't, then he might as well get used to Championship football, because nobody's paying over 40 million. You won't pay for Declan Rice. He's only getting that price tag because he's English yet again.
Yeah, so let's add another 10 onto that and be generous. Let's say 50 million. But I think it's one of them things at West Ham. It's one of them things at West Ham when West Ham have a player that comes through their ranks and he's of a level, West Ham big him up. They did it with Reece Oxford when he had a good game against Arsenal, and Reece Oxford's head blew up and he's kind of disappeared a bit. Declan Rice is another player who's a very good player. Since he's come to the England squad, he seems like he's matured a bit, and he's still keeping up to the level of what he did a couple of years ago when he first came out, and people was kind of giving him big praise. Steve, do you think Declan Rice is off in the summer?
Yeah, I mean, especially if he, West Ham go down. Which can we edit that bit out though?
I'm all right. I live in Sheffield.
with especially if they go down. Yeah, I think he will be off. Where he will go, some of the clubs that have been mentioned are a bit. How can I put it? A bit too good for Declan Rice. If I not putting him down.
Steve,
But
is there someone in that room with you, like got a gun to your head or something? I feel like you're nervous. I feel like you're nervous.
No, I'm not.
I feel like you're nervous in this conversation, mate.
The next thing I'm going to say is because I don't know if I rate him. I really don't know if I rate him. There seems to be a lot of silly transfer stories going Chelsea, Man United. He ain't going Chelsea, Man United. Chelsea, he wasn't getting that team. Man United, he wasn't getting that side. I think the hype over him is a bit too much. I think he's an average footballer, which is fine. He's an average footballer who plays for an average club. I will get pelters after this. I don't even go out. But not even Wolves or Leicester. I can't even see him in that team. To be honest with you, maybe Newcastle, Everton.
I can see him at Everton.
Yeah, somewhere like that.
Everton's not a bad place to go, especially now, considering you'll be coached by Ancelotti. They're going to be bringing in some good players. Do you know what? I was having this conversation yesterday, and it almost seems like there's certain players that you could have in your youth team. You could see them coming through into clubs, but for these big clubs, they look at that player and they would get rid of that player because technically he might not be as good. There's be certain parts of his game that might be as good. But then in 10 years' time, they will then buy that player back or a similar player. You'll get that in the likes of Henderson, the likes of Maguire. Liverpool would never have brought through a Henderson. Man United would never have brought through a Maguire, but they're happily going to spend big money to buy these players. And this is what I feel like it's the same with Declan Rice. No one's bringing through Declan Rice, but when Declan Rice comes through and gets over 100 games, starts getting England caps, then you've got that type of player at the best of their ability. And every team needs a boring player. What you deem as an average player, but what them average player brings is great mentality, great determination, great team ethic. They bring them things that other people that you can't. Well, you have to buy it, but you can't buy it. So you have to buy it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So it just feels like it's one of them. Chelsea feel like they need a bit of English in their team. They feel like they need a bit of Rice to fill themselves up with. I think it's that. So,
I mean, my West Ham fans I talk to, I mean, they again, I feel it's over the top. You may not, but they compare him a little bit to Michael Carrick.
Come on, he's not. Come on, look. This is again. This isn't
overhyped.
This isn't anything against Declan Rice. I feel like I'm digging out Declan Rice as a player, but I'm not. But Michael Carrick, was one of the most underrated central midfielders that we've had in our generation. English players, very underrated because his game was very simple, but he also had a range of passing which was ridiculous. He was like a continental player. He was cultured. So and Declan Rice isn't that. He's not that. He's not that kind of player. So sorry, it's not a dig out against Declan Rice. I think Declan Rice is a good player, but he's not a Michael Carrick, and that's just I'm talking about a type of player. I'm not talking about he can't be at that level, but I'm talking about he's not that type of player. It's the best time of the pod. Obviously, it's the thing that everyone came to watch. It's the transfer roundup. And this is where we go through all the transfers that are going this week. We've got 10 minutes till the pod finishes. So I've got to cram in about 50 transfer rumours and transfers. Here we go. United and Man City have been linked to Jamaican international and Bayer Leverkusen winger Leon Bailey. The transfer The rumour of Man City is actually strong. We are to believe from our sources that Manchester City are very interested in Leon Bailey as a replacement for Leroy Sané. So watch this space. You heard it here first. I think we mentioned it last week. But the rumours with Chelsea, Man United, I don't know. I wouldn't have said it's true. I'd probably say that if Man United may have been an inquiry before Jadon Sancho or in and around it, but they're after Jadon Sancho, and I can't see him not getting Sancho. Danny Ceballos is apparently off to Real Betis once his loan at Arsenal's finished. He doesn't see his future at Real Madrid, so it looks like he could be moving to the club that he got some game time with previously in Real Betis. Juventus are willing to offer Daniel Rugani and Federico Bernardeschi in an attempt to lower the price, in an attempt to lower the €100 million asking price for Raul Jimenez from Wolves. We're going to have to go into this another time because that's an interesting deal. If Wolves could potentially get a very good winger and a very good centre back in, plus money for Raul Jimenez, it might be worth something to think about. Morgan Schneidlin is on his way to Nice. That deal is done as he passed his medical. Man City have reached an agreement to sign Filip Krastev, the Bulgarian youngster. Check him out. He's a very talented, very, very exciting player. Ivan Toney has been linked with Rangers, Celtic, and West Brom. Steve, the man, the non-league, the lower league G, we're going to call him. I know you've inside information there because I know you've been talking to some people. Tell the viewers, Steve. We've only got 9 minutes left. Go.
Well, those of you who don't know who Ivan Toney is, he's a 24-year-old prolific striker who plays for Peterborough United. Just as Kieran said, he's been linked to some big signs coming up this summer transfer window. He's been linked to Celtic, Rangers, and more recently Leeds. This guy's prolific. I've been speaking to quite a few non-league friends of ours and professional footballers in the first and second divisions who know Tony well and have also came up against him. Peterborough have already turned down a £4 million offer from MLS side New York City. They want 15 million, and they should stick with it. I believe they would get it. I've also been told by a very good source, a very, very good source, that this guy who knows Tony well has been offered and spoke to by Bournemouth and Watford. So he's even had Premier League clubs look at him. So it seems he will have no problems with finding a club in the higher leagues to show his talent. He's big, he's strong, he's powerful. He's a real handle for defenders. I said he was prolific. He scored 40 goals in 76 games for Peterborough. Left foot, right foot. He has his neck of scoring bicycle kicks. Last season he scored 6. That's true. Go on YouTube and have a look. He scored 6 bicycle kicks. Keep an eye on Ivan Toney.
Yeah, and
sadly he won't be at Peterborough next season, but a very good player, 24 years old. Let's hope we see him in the Premiership.
And as you've heard, I've not seen any other rumours that state that Watford and Bournemouth have been involved in reaching out to Ivan Toney's crew representatives. So yeah, this is an exclusive. Also, Watford and Bournemouth are in for Ivan Toney. Well done, Steve. Love that. Just to say, this is no fluke. Ivan Toney came through the ranks at Newcastle, so it's not a one-off, mate. He's just probably a late bloomer, which happens. Okay, we will carry on. Barcelona have opened talks with Messi over a 2-year extension. He's going to be the highest paid player in the world, without a doubt. Roma have offered Tottenham's Jan Vertonghen a 2-year deal with an option of a third. He's 33, 36-year-old, playing football still. I'd snap that up before they took it away. Arsenal and Celtic are interested in Joe Hart once his contract runs out, as I stated earlier. Arthur's move to Juventus is pretty much done. The Arthur and Pjanic have both passed medicals about 3 hours ago, so that is still pretty fresh, still warm out of the oven there, boys and girls.
They've both signed the contracts as well. They've both signed it.
Wow.
Arten Jubia. Now, this is one that's tickling my fancy. Tottenham went for him in January. His contract runs out in the summer. I'm speaking to a couple of people to see where he's going in the summer, and they're reaching out to his agents because I actually think he could be on his way to Tottenham. Free transfer. Tottenham need another striker. They went for him in January. The bid got turned down, so why not go for him in the summer? There's been no talk about it, but I'm talking about it now. So remember when I said it on the 28th of June. Is it 28th? 29th. Whatever it is, I said it today. Watch out. Keep an eye on that transfer because I think it's going to happen.
I've got some news on Koulibaly.
Oh, you'll hear me saying it's in a sec. Napoli have offered Lille centre back Gabriel Macheles a contract worth £2 million a year. He wants £2.5 million, but it looks like he could be on his way to Napoli. After all that talk of Arsenal and Everton, it looks like he's on his way to Napoli. Roma are close to agreeing a deal to keep Chris Smalling with the team for another season. Obviously, the deals for Arsenal's David Luiz, Pablo Mari and Cedric were signed earlier this week. 4-year deals for the Cedric and Mari and a year extension for David Luiz. William Carvalho has agreed terms with Leicester. The deal is apparently they just got to thrash out something with Sporting, but William Carvalho has agreed terms with Leicester City. This is what I mean. You hear it here first. Look at Steve's face. He's shocked.
Because he's the Leicester sauce.
I'm not happy.
He's the Leicester sauce.
I am not happy.
Steve is flabbergasted. He's lost for word. Arsenal have made contact with Sporting Lisbon about wonder kid Joelson Fernandez. Bloody hell, that is a mouthful. Simon, I know you had a look at him. He's a very talented youngster, very quick, good feet. Tell us about him quickly.
Very exciting player. Very exciting player.
Mm-hmm.
Has been liked at Sporting to the same of Nane and Cristiano Ronaldo when they were his age.
Mm-hmm.
The way that he controls a game. He's 5 steps in front of anyone else. He can get out of any situation on the pitch. He loves a little trick or anything like that. He likes the odd assists, the odd goals and stuff like that. He's fantastic at link-up play. He's fantastic at taking the defender away to create space for his teammates to go into. He's a proper baller, this lad.
He is. He's a real talent. And if Arsenal can get their hands on him, they'd be very, very lucky. As you were saying, Simon, Koulibaly, Man City deal seems to be taking some steps forward. I'm hearing.
Koulibaly has agreed personal terms with Manchester City.
Yeah,
200 a week.
Yeah, and from what I hear, he wants to play for Pep.
He said that.
Cynical and say it's for the money, but you're talking about Man City and Pep, so it's hardly. If he was going to Newcastle, you could understand why people are saying that, but we're talking about one of the best teams in Europe, so. There
was interest from Liverpool, but that's been squashed by the person that I talked to, and Liverpool are not interested. Liverpool are not interested. They want to get Van Dijk down to a new deal before they find a centre-back partner for him. And Gomez, for me, is doing nothing wrong, to be honest.
Yeah.
So Klopp is happy. What I've been told is Klopp is happy with Gomez and with Van Dijk as well, but they want to get Van Dijk onto a new deal. Out of all the players they've got, they want to do the first contract extension for Van Dijk.
All right.
Because Real Madrid have been sniffing.
All right.
I can see Otamendi on his way then. Otamendi looks like he could be on his way because that would be Garcia, Koulibaly and Laporte as the centre-back. So keep your eye out for him.
Keep your eye out. Boys, what a show. We were one man down, but it didn't feel like it. I'm out of breath. I'm sitting here sweating from talking. Huh? I'm hoping that everyone enjoyed it. There was a lot crammed in today. We had the Golden Boy Award, transfer list and progression player watch. We call it, that's the player watch. It would have been player watch today, but we just went through 15. Yes, 15 player watches in one day. Yeah, you don't get it anywhere else. No one else is talking about the Golden Boy Awards except for us. We also had the transfer roundup where we had about 25, 30 transfers in there. We had exclusives today from Steve and Simon. Have we ever had 2 exclusives in one show? I don't think we have. And we're just about to run out of time. Thank you very much, Simon.
I've just remembered something. No, I've remembered something. I forgot. Sorry. Jason, I apologise. I'm going to say it now. Everton do want Aaron Ramsey. And they're in discussions with his agent to go to Everton, and personal terms have already been agreed. Sorry, Jason, I nearly forgot then.
3 exclusives.
Damn.
Out of breath. I'm almost as out of breath as when Steve said that Adam Holznick is the next Lionel Messi.
You don't believe me? Kieran, trust me. Trust me.
Thank you, everyone who's watched tonight. Thank you, everyone. If you haven't watched tonight, when you're watching now, thank you that you got to this point now. We appreciate it. It means you like us. Because if you can watch an hour and a half of me rambling about football, I mean, there's obviously some connection. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you go and follow these 2 brilliant guys. Look, go on, look. There we go. Jerome Marks, he's not even here, but we're showing some love. Steve K, 71, and obviously Simon Undefeated. Thank you very much, everyone. From Steve.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you.
And thank you very much from the chef.
Cheers, everyone.
Thank you very much for watching. Peace out. Stay safe. And wash your hands.